OpenSuspect live stream coding, and so last time we left off we were working on the item system, and working on the item system is what we are going to be doing because we have this issue which is re-implement item system, which I guess I should have assigned myself here after I've been working on this for quite a while. So this dummy mode for item pickup and drop have been basically done, and what we want is I guess item states and things like that will have to be kept track of, and we have to do the system for the custom item behavior. So this item syncing at the moment is only limited to whether the item, so like who has the item or where the item, or whether the item is picked up or not. And so I am going to do a little more today, having a custom item which we will be able to do something else with that, not just pick it up and put it on the floor, which is kind of what we have at the moment today, implemented here. We have this powder bottle, and I will just do a quick demonstration for those who have not seen the previous episode. So we have this area in the map where we have these powder bottles, and we can pick this powder bottle up, we can put this down, and if there are multiple, I will have all these multiple buttons. Select one, I can pick this up and put this down, and this works in multiplayer mode too. You have to believe me that I'm not going to showcase it right now. And for what I will want to do is, so this powder bottle, there is not much to do with a powder bottle. This is just like a small chemical bottle. At the moment we will be using this in once the what is it called, the task system is done, we will be able to use this powder bottle to put it on maybe like a, you know, like a laboratory desk kind of thing, and then you can do things with that in like use this powder bottle in a task or something like that. But at the moment we don't have that, so we will need something else to work with. So I am going to duplicate this TRES, this powder bottle TRES here, which is if my face was not covering this up, you could see it here, that this is an item template type of resource here, which will basically duplicate, and this, which should duplicate, this should be called what is it called? I forget what is it called? It's called not a beaker, but it's not a vial. Okay, so I have the files here. Flask. Yes, so I have to copy it, duplicate it, and call it a flask. .trs. So now that we have the flask, we can add the different textures here. So the in-game texture, I will just utilize, I think, the flask empty kind of textures here, and the pickup rotation will be 0. So now that, and it's called, the name is flask, which is fine enough. And we need, I have like this special place in the map which is like the storage room which generates the items. So I guess I will need to create a few of these too, and this will be create item, and this is a flask, and vector 2, I will make it a vector. We'll have to 80, yeah, plus 80 and 0 here, and let's see if this works as I intended it. So let's start this thing here, and because this is the same thing here, you can pick up the flask. Oh, this flask is huge. But anyways, so what this is kind of, we should decrease its size when it's picked up, and maybe give just more space here and just have some aesthetics here. So let's go back to the flask here, and the texture scale for the pickup texture, that also should be maybe just 1.5, and yeah, I guess that would be it if it would be just a regular item, but this will not be a regular item. This will be an item which has a special ability attached to it, and this is what I have to figure out today, how to implement in our little game here. Because I already have the texture, so if you take a look, I can just show you, like, put this full, and we have like a texture which has a full flask here, and I guess that's it. If we go to the create items, here the items are of course always created on the server. The server adds an item ID and then creates this item through every client, and this create item function will basically use this item template. Get item template is just going to find the item template by its name and things like that. So that's what I need to figure out how to implement with the item that has a kind of special ability. And when the item has a special ability, I will have to do some modifications, because first of all, let me just browse the directory structure here. So we have all these resource classes here, like the item template.gd, item template.trs. So this item template.trs, this is basically the basic item template, and the item template.gd contains all the things that this item should be doing, and we could just extend this to have the special ability for the what do I have open here? I don't even know. Why is this file open? What I need is the item template somewhere. Map template. No, why are these things open here? So let's close this. So what I need, what Teams roles template. If I double click here, why don't you open this for me, please? Or if I just click this GD file, why can't I open this from the file manager? That's a good question. I have no idea what's going on with that. But anyways, the storage room has been modified. Let's save this. Let's close everything here. I don't want to get confused anymore with these files. So what I need is this Teams roles template. Oh, was I just clicking on the wrong thing here? Item template, that's what I need. So I need this item template to basically How will this work? So let's just open the items autoload here, which we have. And this will take care of the items, item node scene path, item template folder path, and things like that nature. And so how do I handle the special abilities? That's the next question we need to figure out. Yes. Oh yeah, okay. So for this I might have prematurely closed that that file here. That from the map. Where are you? Maps, CamLab, and we have this storage room here. So the storage room uses these items, create items. So yes, so when we create the items, we use this function to create a new item, which will be, we get the item template based on its name. That's straightforward enough. And we will create an item resource. How do we create an item resource? Yeah, that's the problem. If our item will have special abilities, that might not work if I want to have an item resource that is non-standard. So that's I think the template should create the item resource and not these items. So if I overwrite the template with another another script, I should be able to create an item resource that is also based on a different item resource. Okay, so because there are three things in the current implementation, three things for an item. We have the item template, which you could see here customized and here customized. This is a template, and then we have another resource which is keeping track of whatever is going on with the item itself, and that resource is just called item resource. This is a kind of keeps track of all the different things about the item, like what is the node attached to it, who holds the item, is this item dropped, etc., things like that. And we also have the item what is this? The item node, which is just a simple node that represents the item itself on the on screen, basically on the map. I hit my microphone. Why is, excuse me, my microphone is. Alright, my microphone is a hope. Noise levels are up the roof. I don't know what's going on with my microphone. Excuse me for the hearing loss you might have suffered from listening to this stream. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my microphone, but I hope so that it's better now. Yeah, noise levels go down when I don't talk, at least that's something. That's something, okay, to cherish. If the microphone works properly, I should buy a better one, but I am always too lazy to deal with these things. So, we need to be able to have this template, this item template, to create an item resource which is not based on this basic item resource, but which can have something that's based on. So that's kind of a that inherits that item resource. So I don't think it's a good idea to have the items auto load do this, because yeah, this is one. And also the item node, so instantiating the item node should also not be done here, because what if we want to use a different node for that item? Then we should be able to do that through the item template. So I guess the first thing is to refactor this code in a way that makes it possible, makes all these things possible. So the create item resource and the create item node. Where do I use the create item node? That's the next thing I wanted to just check here. When we create an item, we get the template, create an item resource, and create an item node. So yeah, the create item node and create item resource, this should be moved to the item template, I think. That's kind of what I think, and that's kind of what I will be doing here. So create item resource and create item node functions will be cut from here and will be put in item template.gd and will not be called with the underscores anymore. And of course we will have to or we can have the underscores rather, and we will have the functions item. Oh no, we should have yeah, these could be the functions exposed, and then we will override these once we get into the into the inherited class. So of course we need the item node scene for this template, and that is something I will still just copy from here somewhere. Item node scene path. I wonder if these are required here, but we will figure it out very quickly, I guess. Let's just put this somewhere around the top here. We have all these different textures, but anyways. So now we have these. That means we have the item node scene. So this item template.gd should be fine. And now we need to go through this autoload, which wants to create the item resource. And for here, what we can do is we can do item template.create item resource, and the same here is going to be simply item template.create item node. So this should be fine. Item node, is it node 2D? Item node, I think the item node is actually kinematic body 2D, so let's do it like this. And let's see if I borked anything by this. Will we have a bunch of error messages popping up here? And no, we don't. So okay, this is a very difficult to see this beaker. The transparency is too high, so maybe that was something I will have to deal with. The drawing itself, but now it's picked up, it's in my hand, put it down. Alright, so now I should be able to yeah, I think I played around enough with this. So now this simple refactoring has been done. So should I just commit this to these changes to the Git? I think I should. Yeah, a lot of things have changed and have been added and things like that. So let's add everything and commit. And what has happened here is that maybe new item flask item system development. Let's just very vague name here or commit message here, and we can just add some additional points here. New item flask added. Refactored creation of new items. I guess this too. Yeah, I think this covers what's going on here. So let's sign this commit. And I guess that is nice. And we can work on this specific item case. So I want to create this flask should have its specific script. So let me just, oh, what happened? So this resource should have a new GD script attached to it, which we will save as, I guess, what? No. Save as what? This resource can be saved because it does not belong to the edited scene. Close. Alright. We need this to be cleared here. Let's try again. So let's just create a new GD script here, I guess. New script. This will be GD script and inherits item template. And this name will be flask. Alright, and now I can just add this script here. Can I? Yes, I can. Very nice. Unfortunately, hello Maxwellix, welcome to the chat. Long time no see. So now we have this. I can add the in-game texture of this empty flask to these textures here, and HUD texture scale, and I don't know, was on this 1.5 or something, and I don't know how this was, but anyways, let's break the game. Assertion failed, trying to get an item template that does not exist. Alright. Item name not in item templates. Okay, so yeah, I should have given this item template a name. That should have been nice if I have done that. How's things going with OpenSuspect at the moment? Kind of been out of the loop recently. Yeah. So how it's going is item system. Let me show you the item system if I did not screw this thing up too much. It seems like it's working. So item system is what I've been working on recently. Oops, very big. So I can pick this item up, put it down. I have the ability to pick up things and put them down. I can shoot people. That's also, I mean, in the game, of course. And so, why are these flasks so damn big here? If it's 1, and why is 1.5 actually smaller than 1? I don't really understand. Is this working in reverse than how I expect it to work? I don't know. And also Monban is supposed to be working on, yeah, somehow, so, okay, so the scale, what if it's 0.5, it's, oh, maybe because it's attached to the hand when I pick it up, so it becomes something different. I am a bit confused here. So Monban is supposed to be working on the what is he working on? He's working on the task system at the moment. And yeah, I don't know how he's going with that because, okay, no published result yet. So, okay, I guess this works at the moment that I have. Where did my flask.gd go? Here it is. So as you can see, nothing is in this code yet, but because we inherit everything from the... I guess this should not be just called Flask. I should reconsider this. It should be called Flask template because we will have Flask separately. So can I rename you without causing great problems here? Flask template, and Flask has Flask template. Okay. So this is supposed to be working. And if renaming stuff in Godot at least is well, it works. So next thing is we need also a specific item, not a resource. So we need a new resource that is that extends item resource. So that's going to be the next thing. This one, can I class name? What was yeah. Second, wait a second. So class name, yeah, I should give a class name to this too. Class name Flask template. Okay, and what current scene has no root node but one modified external resources was saved anyway? What are you talking about? Current scene has no root node but one modified external resources were saved anyway. Looks like you used dash instead of an underline. Oh, yeah, that's not nice of me. These things should have underline, what is it? You are tabbed to the new scene page. Oh, go away. Thanks. Yeah, and powder bottle should be underscore. You are right. So now I did this. Okay. So, did I screw anything up with all these renamings? Seems like things are working out fine, I guess. Okay, so what I want to do is to be able to have this Flask also full and also empty, but anyways, so item templates, fine, everything is fine. Also, so what I need is another something new code here. Yeah, inside the items, new script which will inherit item resource and will be named, should be named just simply Flask. And the way, yes, where are you? Flask and class underscore name Flask resource. And what we need to do is in this item template we have this create item resource function. We will just simply update this or overwrite this here in the Flask template.new. The assign value plus, yeah, it should, what? Does not match the variables type item resource. It is inheriting the item resource though. Why is that a problem for you? Inherits the item resource. It should not. It should be happy about this. Oh, yeah, because I'm doing stupid thing here. This is a Flask resource. Flask resource is not declared in the current scope. Yeah, because I have not saved this. Alright. Now it works. Now that I'm doing what I actually want to do, now things work. So now then... So the Flask... I guess the Flask will have to have some additional options here, or which will additional state, I guess, which will be new variables, which will be is full, which will be a boolean, and I guess. So what I am thinking about right now is that maybe because in the item template case, regular good old item template case, like in case of the powder bottle, we have all these exported variables here. And for the Flask template or Flask TRS, what the hell just happened here? Why? Oh, here. Why is it so weird? Now it's suddenly everything disappeared from here. Why did everything just suddenly disappear there? And this thing will... Is this going to work? I don't think... Yeah, it still works. So I can still pick this Flask up and put it down, but... What the hell am I looking at here? The powder bottle, everything. Script variables. Okay, so this should be... Where are my script variables? Excuse me. Why isn't my script variables... Okay, but resource, yeah, that's fine. But there are no script variables anywhere here. That's these resources, these are very powerful, but they give me a lot of headache while working with them in the editor. So that's something, I guess. But anyways, so in the regular item template we have all these variables everywhere, which are all these exported variables. I guess what if I just put all of them here too, like just because why not, I guess. It already exists in a parent class. Yeah, of course. So, but if it already exists in a parent class and you know it exists in the parent class, why on earth don't you show me my available script variables here? Expand all. Well, I don't know. And I don't understand what's going on. But anyways, we need to power on with this, and I guess when we create an item, we only have these two things here, which I guess let's one is the name of the item, and the other is the coordinates. So maybe we want another option, for the, what is it, the items auto load. So whenever I create a new item, then what should happen is maybe I should be able, or rather here on the server, when I create it, there should be maybe an optional variable here, a dictionary, like properties, which is dictionary, and equals an empty dictionary. And we could just send all these things here. And whenever we create a new item, properties, and this will be a dictionary. So whenever we create a new item, we will have these properties, and maybe when we create an item resource, we could just hand over this properties dictionary to there too. I guess, and so the item resources, or the item templates code, what are we doing? Item resource, create item resource, item template. So the item templates create item resource. We'll have to have properties dictionary, and maybe I'll just have a comment here. This is just placeholder for more complex inherited items, I guess. That should tell us whatever is going on here, and then the Flask template Function signature does not match the parent, so of course we'll have this here. And placeholder space to put whatever we need in, yeah. This is where we will be working on that thing. So here, once we created this item resource, which is this Flask resource, which I just named flask.gd, which is maybe not the nicest thing to name this. This should be named Flask resource. Rename Flask underscore resource. Just yeah, okay, so this works. And so we will have a function here set something. I guess new state will be a nice function name here. Returns the void and excuse me, is full equals new state, I guess. And what we can do here is if full in properties, then we will just basically item resource dot set fullness properties full. The class Flask resource couldn't be fully loaded. Script error or cyclic dependency. Oh yeah. Flask resource couldn't be loaded. Why though? What's your cyclic dependency here? What's the problem with this referencing the Flask resource here? I think that's just the good O3 thing. Yeah, it's a good O3 thing, but generally this is a problem when we have like a resource name here, and then in this resource I have this Flask template referenced, but in this resource I don't have this Flask template referenced anyway, so I don't know why it does what it does. So even though I understand what this error message is for, I don't understand why it's, or like how this should come about, but I don't know how this comes about in this particular case. Very weird. Anyways. So in the storage room we can have what is it, a dictionary that will basically says full and true. So this should work. And then this has full and then sets full to true, and full in general is false, I guess. Wow, my computer just suddenly made very loud noise. It just started spinning up the fans for a second. Alright, so at this point I just added all these new variables and have not really changed anything that should affect anything that happens on the screen here. And I can still interact with these things here, so that is full did not do anything. But I guess Flask template. So the Flask resource. And whatever. How does this work in general? So in general, the item resource is set up, and there is this function that's... Oh, that's not even in the item resource, that's in the item template that will configure the item resource through this item resource.set property. So this is another Godot magic which I really find amusing and also don't really like the way it's implemented, but whatever. So it basically gets all these, the names of the variables are listed in this array, and with this get property and set property, we just copy everything we have in the item template into the item resource itself. And so instead we could just basically, because this is supposed to be very universal, so every item that is just a regular item, and you just create it by adding it the textures, basically nothing else. Maybe I'm doing this all in a wrong way. Now I'm sitting here and I have a revelation. Maybe I am approaching this in the wrong way by adding, because what I just realized now is that this is a very good universal. Luxelix is a bit confused. That is perfectly understandable. I am also a bit confused. And that's why I am trying to think here. Because no, that seems just too very complicated. Because what I'm thinking about here is that this is a very universal thing. So you can make any kind of item there is nothing else but the basic behavior, which is like the powder bottle. So it has very basic behavior. It has a texture. It has different textures, I guess, for like we probably could just have one texture for all of these. But anyways, there is one that will appear on the head-up display for you. There is one that appears on the map. There is one that appears in your hand when you pick up the item. And we have a rotation, so we rotate it when you pick up in your hand. It might be rotated 90 degrees or might not be rotated, or might be rotated in some other angle, doesn't matter. And it has a name. So anything, you could make any, you could just put any kind of, create a new TRES file here on the left. Create a new TRES file in the left. Use this item template script for this, and then just add all these what are these, the sprites, and then also what else do I do? Also the scales. So you could just set these things up and just save it as a TRES file. You don't have to write any code or anything. And this, the items autoload will deal with this whenever you need to create an item. It will create a new item resource, which will be saving, and then the state of the item, and will create an item node which will appear on the map. And all these, so the template that you created in the editor, all the properties of the template will be just saved. But if we want some special behavior, like I want to be able to pour the liquid out of that, what is it called, the flask, I cannot add any custom behavior to this. So what I was kind of thinking about here is that, can I just add another script variable here? Could we just have like an export variable which would, where is my template? So item template. So could we have like an export variable which we pull in here and let it act as the custom behavior? But I think that if we did that, we could not really interact with these things here. So I guess the flask will have to be just the very specific thing for the flask itself. And when we create the configure the item resource, we can just overwrite it here. Flask resource couldn't be fully loaded. Yes, I know you cannot fully load the flask resource. But please don't do that to me. So I guess we could just So I guess what I need to do is how do I copy the properties? Okay, so this Flask template will have to have additional things here. So this will be like, because okay, what I need to add here, so in the regular item case we only have one texture, but in this case I want to have two types of textures for the full flask and the empty flask. Those two are two separate textures. Head up display should also have two separate textures, and the pickup should also have two separate textures. And so what I should add here is additional things. Like in the regular item template we have these export variables like just regular texture, HUD texture, and pickup texture. So I want something that's kind of in the same vein, but for the full like texture full, and then also similarly the HUD texture for the full and pickup texture for full. HUD texture already uses in a parent class, of course, but I will add the full here, full. So now we have this. If I open my Flask TRS here, these export variables are not shown. Why don't you show me my export variables? It's Flask template. For Flask's sake. Can we just search for this on the internet? Resource inheritance, maybe. Godot resource inheritance export variables. How to export variables in Godot 4? No, need help exporting a custom resource type. Inherited export variables from registered class don't show up in Node Inspector. Opened issue in 2018. This issue has been confirmed several times already. No need to confirm it further. However, this is exactly the same issue I'm having in Godot. This issue goes even further than not showing the export from the base class. It shows none of the exports from the inherited class. I don't know when it exactly was fixed, but it is no longer a problem. I don't know, is this... Okay, so someone already picked this up again. Shouldn't this be reopened, or is it already being tracked elsewhere? Just reproduced it in 3.3.4 stable. Restarting the editor fixed the issue, and now the parent script variables are shown in their children nodes, but both using the parent class name or the parent file path. Okay, so close and open again, I guess. Close and open again. Alright. I really like how Godot always just opens the base scene and goes back to the root and does not keep track of where I was when I last opened or last worked on this project. So now Flask. Alright. Okay, so that's what you should do. Open and close. Great software, thank you. At least we could find how to solve the issue through a simple search in DuckDuckGo, which is much better than some issues I had with commercial software. So let's leave it at that. Alright, so I also have to track the time because I will have to leave in 20 minutes. Alright, so close this. And what we can, okay, so we will add these texture full, hard texture full, and pick up texture full. Alright, I need... Okay, I guess I can just copy paste this because I am making a lot of typos. Anyways, yeah. And in the item resource in general, do we have the same variables? Yes, we do. Why do I have these named export variables, or these don't have? These should not be export variables. Anyways, yeah. So I also need to add these same variables, of course, to the Flask resource too. And these are not export variables anymore. Great. And when we set fullness, what we'll have to do is on the item node. So I need to go back here. What is my item? Underscore item node, I guess. Underscore item node dot. How do I set up the item node's texture? How do I set up the item node's texture in this? No. Let's go back to items.gd. When we create a new item, item node, create item node, we use the item template to create the item node and then set the item node and then set the item resource to the item node. Very good. There is no problem here. And in the item, does my item template, is the item template going to set anything to the item node? No. Is the item resource going to set a texture on the item node? Set item node. Yeah, that's fine. But where do we actually... Just trying out OpenSuspect. Exit menu appears now behind main menu somehow. Yes, that is true, and there is already an issue made on GitHub for that exact problem. I don't know when it started to appear because I generally just close the game through my window manager key combination of closing and barely ever. So I realized it quite late. And Monban made an issue for that. I did not care to solve that at this point. So I don't know, where do we set the item nodes? Well, where is the item node in general? Item node. Set item resource. Item resource get texture. Call deferred. Set sprite. And it sets the sprite. Okay. So whenever this item resource is set, that's when we set the sprite. Because this one also has sprites. Okay, so what I need to do is change look, I guess. To change its look. Item node dot change look. We need the new texture, which is, how do I... So it's either texture or pickup texture for here. So I guess I need to check what is... Okay, so first of all, new node texture equals... I need to specify its new variable, and this is going to be a texture, and this will be if... How do I check if my item is picked up or not? Is dropped. Or holder. If holder is equals null, I guess then we'll have the new node texture if holder equals null. Oh no, this is a nightmare because we have 4 different options here. Okay, and is full. Then new node texture equals... So then no one's picked it up. and it is full, that means texture full. Great. Elif holder equals null and the not is full, then the new node texture will be just texture, and if holder not null, then it will be pick up texture full, pick up texture full, and pick up texture. Great. New node texture, and then we also, of course, need the new node. What is that? It's what is it called? Scale, I guess. And also new rotation, I guess. So I need a variable node scale, which is going to be vector2 and the float. Actually, maybe it's better if I just indent this if is full, and then just have a else here, and the same is just I think it's going to be better in the grand scheme of things if I do it like this. .marvq. This stream is pretty sus. Well, if it isn't sus, then I'm doing something wrong. It should be not just pretty sus, it should be openly sus, openly suspicious, because this is the project is called OpenSuspect. So if there is no holder, then new rotation equals 0, and if there is a holder, then new rotation equals pickup rotation. Very good. And similarly, if there is a holder, then new node scale equals texture scale, and otherwise it's it equals pickup texture scale, pickup texture scale. Great variable names we have here. So, is this thing going to break? Yes, of course it breaks. Non-existent function called changeLook on base nil. Because the item node has not been created yet. Alright. Fair enough, I guess. We could... So when does this happen? The set item resource will call this set sprite in a deferred way. Alright, this is I need to leave in 5 or 10 minutes, so I guess what I can do here is I could check if item node is nothing. So if it's not initialized yet, we can do call deferred. And what will be the function name? Function name will be set, maybe node set fullness node or something. And we can call deferred set fullness node. Else, just simply call the function. Or we could have this change or this check here, and whenever we call this function, it will be just called as long as this item is not ready. This will be called. This is a very hacky solution, I know, and maybe I will refactor it next time. Invalid call, non-existent function, unchanged. What? Oh, I need to also return right away here. Okay, so whatever is going on here, I don't see any difference, which is suspicious. I just improved the exit menu, lol. That's a good thing. Thank you for your service. So what did I do? In the storage room, I set full to true. All of them should be true, but maybe there was a problem. Set fullness is full new state. Texture full. So if I open the flask.trs, the texture full should have these things. So I guess maybe something's wrong with this template. Let's print debug and then the properties, whatever those are, I want to see them in the debugger quickly. And also please review my previous PR. Okay, so full, and it contains a true, so that's, oh my, that should, so this part is good. Is there an issue over there maybe? So no, that's actually, and this is called, so full is in properties. See item resource dot set fullness full. So let's print new state. Well, print debug very quickly. Let's see what the hell is going on over there. Null. Oh, I need to start. True. Everything is true. If everything is true, if new state is true and is full equals new state. It's good. So is full new texture node equals texture full. New node texture equals texture. And also let's print debug here. And let's see what's going on really quickly. So, sure, call was deferred a few times, but then true was set here. That PR89. What is PR89? Pull requests. Okay. Also check PR88. What I'm doing is based on PR88, but anyways. Item node the change loop. I don't know what's going on with this issue. 61 files. Yeah, most of them are just image files, so you should not have to review anything about them. Full, everything is always full. So if we set full, okay, let me just open the remote here and the game and map and what items. Item node. Sprite object ID. What? Okay, that's fine. Item node. Sprite. Where is another item? Okay, maybe this one. Yeah, the texture has not been reset. Or rather, the texture has not been changed. Why don't the texture change? Is there any reason for not changing this texture? Item node change look sprite.texture equals new texture, sprite.scale equals new scale, rotation degrees equals new rotation. And this generally works, I think. What if I close and open again? Because, I don't know, if I check out my items again, the flask.trs has the texture full, these are all set properly. And the item node, when it's not null anymore, then it's text node textures, text node scale. What if I just changed it 180 so we can see whether these items will be rotated and will be on. Yeah, that works. So this rotation works. The new texture full does not seem to work. For some reason. I am kind of confused about this, and I don't think I will be able to figure it out right now. And I have to leave anyways. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll figure this out in the next stream, or maybe I'll figure it out by myself and just tell you how I solved it in the next stream. Or if you have a solution, you have an idea what's going on here, why don't you leave a comment in the comment section down below. And thank you for watching, and of course check out the GitHub repository. This is not the GitHub, this is the GitHub repository. OpenSuspect project and the OpenSuspect repository. Give us a star, fork the project, you know, help us out. We have a lot of issues here that I guess this one should be solved already. Item system, I'm working on it. Character model still has things that well, the character models are actually working, so why is it not taken out? Anyways, so you can always check these things. We need role assignment, kill mechanics. What we need here, for example, is dead characters should resurrect as ghosts, things like that. So check out our issues, fork the project, help us out, and well, I will see you in the next stream. And oh, join our matrix room. You will find the info for that somewhere in the somewhere in our readme. So see you later. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.